Hello again from my front porch. Today I want to chat about a phrase that gets used a lot. In fact, I'm sure I have even used it myself in the past. But as I get more experience in the professional world, I kind of redefine some of these terms, or not redefine, I just better understand some of these terms. And one of those is the phrase, I expect to be paid what I'm worth. Or the complaint, I am not getting paid what I'm worth. And I understand where it comes from. It comes from a sense of frustration of people feeling like I contribute more to this organization than what I'm being compensated for. And that is a relevant frustration. People who feel that way, that's a problem. Absolutely, it is. But I want to push back on it just a bit because again, as I have more and more experience in the role of a corporate leader, overseeing other people, and also better understanding the what's going on behind the scenes, the business acumen part of things, if you will. That I'm not so narrow focused just on what I'm doing or even just what my department is doing, but that I'm understanding business needs and issues on a global scale. It brings a little additional clarity to some of these things for me, and so this is my chance to share that some of that insight with others who have not had the same opportunities to experience things firsthand like I have, especially in leadership type of roles. So here we go. This concept of I want to be paid what I'm worth is a little bit the target is wrong. It's not to say I want to get paid what I'm worth is a extremely subjective phrase, and the reality is most of us tend to see more worth to ourselves than the employer we work for does. And that's not a ding against the employer. It's because the employer isn't looking at what my individual worth is. My worth, quote unquote, only matters so far to my employer as that worth helps my employer. You see, if I have worth as a singer, okay, great. That helps me when I want to go sing national anthem at events, or if I want to, get a gig singing, songs at, wedding singer or something, whatever. If I want to do stuff like that, hey, that being a good singer may help me. That may improve my worth in those scenarios. But being a good singer has no bearing whatsoever on my company recognizing my worth. See what I'm saying? My being able to sing well does not impact my company whatsoever. Does not impact my. Now, you could say, oh, but you're used to getting up in front of people and you're comfortable. Yes, but those are different skills. Yeah, I may hone them. I may get a chance to practice them. I may get a chance to improve them and enhance them through having these opportunities to sing in front of people. But the singing in front of people is not the item of worth to my company. It is of worth to me, and it is of worth in other scenarios, but not to my company. So the real phrase, I don't think we should fixate on, I want to be paid what I'm worth, because no employer, well, I shouldn't say no, that's an absolute statement, shouldn't make that. Very few employers are actually going to compensate an individual based on their worth, because an individual has tremendously more worth than what will ever matter to the employer. An individual has more worth than will ever matter in the role they are doing. Some of what they possess as personal worth will matter and bring benefit to the company. But because of that, I'm never going to get paid for what I'm worth. And I know some people would like to take this the other way. Say, well, it's a good thing you don't get paid what you're worth because you're not worth much. That's not what I'm saying at all. I believe everybody, I don't care who you are, I believe everybody has worth. But like I said, that's the wrong focus, in my opinion. I believe instead of fixating on worth, we should not fixate, that's it. We should focus on value. And here's why I say that. Let's use that example of singing. The singing is of no worth. It is also of no value to my company. But my background in education, my experience facilitating, the book that I wrote on just writing the book does not add value to my company. However, the fruits that have come from that have added value to my. In fact, it's why I even work in my company, to be honest, because they learned about the book, and that's why I'm there. But my point being, my employer is not going to pay me based on my worth. That is an intangible, extremely subjective element. Value is also intangible and subjective. However, it is more measurable because the company is able to look at what I bring to the table, what I offer, what I contribute, what I add, and what impact does that have? What does that mean for the employer? How does it help them not just make money, but how does it help them stay in business? Because ultimately that's got to be the goal. If they don't stay in business, I don't get paid, nobody gets paid. so the goal is to stay in business. But if you're staying in business, then of course you want to make profit while you're staying in business too. That's how you continue to grow and expand and become even better and add more people to the mix and improve paychecks and blah, 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 blah. But the only way that happens, all that wonderful stuff, is if everybody who's working for the company is bringing value to the company. And the more value the company perceives I bring to them, the more compensation I will receive, whether it's in salary or in bonuses or in other benefits in various other ways. Whatever that may look like, I am more likely to get more from my company as they see more value that I am contributing. See, it's not about getting paid what I'm worth. It's about being compensated and rewarded for the value that I bring to the table. So that may cause some to sit back and say, oh, that's a problem for me because I'm not sure what value I'm bringing to the table. That is a problem. That's a big problem. Because if you cannot articulate what value you bring to your company, that is a big problem. But I'm going to challenge you to really think about that. Because I think you do. If you are currently employed, then you are bringing value. Are you bringing as much value as you should? Are you bringing as much value as you could? Are you doing all you can to be seen as a value add to the company and not just I get by doing the minimum and flying by the seat of my pants kind of person? See, again, I've harped on this before, and I don't want to go off on the tangent, but there's the discussion about that employers should be increasing minimum wage, they should be paying a livable wage, which I think is a great concept. I don't mean to dismiss that and discount it. I do agree that people need to get paid a livable wage. However, what that means is very, very subjective, even more subjective than defining worth, because livable wage, first of all, wherever different parts of the country, that dollar amount is going to be radically different. But not even just different parts of the country. What I need as my livable wage, supporting basically just myself, may be different than a peer who has for kids at home and maybe a spouse who doesn't work, and so that's so you've got the one spouse that's supporting everybody. That'd be a very different scenario of what that individual needs as a livable wage, because what it takes for them to live and support all those other people is going to be a very different number than mine. Now, does that mean I feel like that person should get paid more than me because they still have all of that burden? No, that's not what I'm saying either. Because again, that takes us back to the value add. You see, if that individual who needs that extra money, that livable wage, to support all of those people, is then also the person who is skating by, just doing the minimum, and has done nothing to really show that they are invested in their employer and that they are adding value, not only is that individual probably not going to get increases in money, they might find themselves out of a job. And then, of course, the employer is the bad guy because don't you know they're trying to support all these people? Yeah, well, if you're trying to support all those people, then you should be doing everything you can to make sure you are digging in and showing your employer the value that you provide to them. Why? Not for the employer, but for all those people that are depending on you. Myself, I like saying that I bring value and being able to demonstrate that because I like my role. I like the work that I'm doing, and I have a bunch of other people, 8 other individuals, depending on me for their jobs, for their employees. Because if I screw up, if I bomb, if the company decides that Paul Smith is not bringing value, what he and his team are doing are not bringing value, it's not just my neck on the line. It's those other people who are on my team that can suffer as well. So in my mind, when I'm saying I need to be adding value, even though I'm just me and I only need to support me, it's not exactly accurate. Out of my paycheck, I only need to support me. But within the organization, I'm supporting 8 other people too. And so I have to keep that in mind as well. And that all goes into shaping my appreciation for this. That it's not a question of worth. It's a question of value. And I believe everybody has worth, and I believe everybody has value. The problem is worth is a very internal, self-focused concept where I'd say, I want to be paid based on my worth. But when we talk about value, now that requires a product, an output. That requires something of us. And I hate to say it, but I think that's one reason why we don't hear more people talking about I want to be paid for my value, because that means I'm actually having to earn it. Well, that is the way it's supposed to be. Businesses aren't here as charity organizations that they hire you and just give you money so that you have your bills paid. No, they're giving you money to add value to them. Doesn't make that employer evil, doesn't make them bad, doesn't mean they don't care about their people. In fact, quite the opposite. It means they care about all their people because they're making sure everybody working for them is bringing value, and that means the company makes money. They stay in business. They keep everybody employed and maybe even add more and more people to that roster, so more and more people benefit. And so then if they have people who are there that are not adding value, letting that person go, well, it sucks for that person, no question about it. But it may ultimately be better for everybody else in that organization, because then that person could be replaced with someone who will commit to doing the work and will add value. It has nothing to do with their personal worth. That person may have a tremendous amount of personal worth, but if they were not adding value, it dims the brakes. And I know that's calloused. I know that's cold, and I'm sorry, but this is the reality, the better understanding, appreciation that I have. Now, if my employer called me tomorrow and said, "Well, Paul, it's just not working out," Would I be, would I delete this segment? No, because again, that would be a blow. That would really hurt. But it would not change the truth, the reality of what I'm describing. I would, at that point, as much as that would hurt, I would understand that I failed to be able to demonstrate I added value. That's on me. That's not on them. It's on me. Now, understand, I'm not bracing for that. See, I'm even wearing my shirt here because I am fully invested and on board and not expecting anything like that. In fact, I had a really great conversation with our new CEO recently, and I'm excited for what the future holds for myself and for my team and for my company. And so don't get the wrong idea. I'm not bracing for something, but. All I'm saying is, if something like that were to happen, it would not change the message of what I'm saying right now. And again, I'm not saying this because I'm trying to convince you that I'm now become some corporate stooge and I'm trying to preach the gospel of corporatism and capitalism. No, all I'm trying to do is say these are concepts I never really fully wrapped my head around until I found myself working at the level I now work. And it's like, oh, the light bulbs go on. And so this is merely me sharing that with all of you. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to get on with stuff. I'm sure I probably have some work to do, some stuff to add value. And I will see you all next time from my front porch.